Welcome to another episode of China Update, where I provide you guys with the most up-to-date political, economic and geostrategic analysis on the world's number 2 economy. My name is Tony. Let's jump in. Okay, happy Sunday everybody. We normally do not have episodes on Sunday, but yesterday's episode was a little bit shorter and we've had some new developments over the last 24 hours, so I'm releasing this special episode today. Also a little bit shorter, and then from tomorrow, Monday, we'll go back to regular episodes. I don't want to interrupt this halfway through, so at the beginning I'll just say, if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to hit the like button. It's a huge help. And for anyone who wants to go the extra mile, Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee and crypto links are in the description below. And as always, thank you everybody for the incredible ongoing support. In what could be a major milestone for the city, if accurate, on Saturday, Shanghai authorities said that the financial megacity of 25 million had detected no new daily COVID-19 cases outside quarantine areas for the first time since lockdowns were first imposed a month ago. It's too early to confirm that cases are now out of the general population, but if they have been removed, it's a great sign for the millions of frustrated Shanghainese residents still locked in their apartments. If the situation can be sustained for a few more days, we may see some sort of roadmap for opening up Shanghai in the next week or so. According to health authorities, as of yesterday, there were close to 16,000 sealed-off areas in Shanghai, with more than 4 million people prevented from leaving their homes. A further 5.4 million people were blocked from leaving their compounds. Residents of Beijing, on the other hand, are living on a knife's edge, concerned that strict lockdown could be ordered at any given moment, similar to how Shanghai residents were only given a few hours to prepare for their lockdown, particularly if they were in Pudong. Media, both domestic and international, report on quiet Beijing streets this Labor Day long weekend, with residents staying near their homes, fridges well stocked. Beijing will implement a further 2 rounds of COVID tests on May the 1st, today, Sunday, and May the 3rd in its most populous district of Chaoyang. The next few days are critical, and some residents are nervously watching their news feeds. Beijing's battle to fight the highly transmissible, though relatively mild Omicron variant in and around Shanghai has come at a high cost for the economy, both local and national. Freight traffic volumes in the Shanghai metropolitan area plunged by 81% year-on-year in the first 3 weeks of April. Jiangsu province recorded a drop of 30%. Nationwide freight volumes in April are down 15% year-on-year. Again, these are nationwide. Many trains connecting the critically important Yangtze River Delta, either within the region or to other regions, are closed. In Guangdong province, China's second economic powerhouse after the Yangtze River Delta, freight volumes have plunged 17%, even though there have been no lockdowns there yet, and flights at Guangzhou Airport have been scaled back dramatically. Across the country, officials, terrified of COVID cases and the political fallout they bring, are artificially introducing disruptive restrictions even before cases have even been discovered. And in some cases, like in Baltol this week, just a few cases result in lockdowns. Nomura estimates 46 cities are in full or partial lockdowns, affecting over 340 million people. Yicai and others estimate that regions accounting for 80% of China's economic output have experienced some and are continuing to experience significant restrictions of some sort. In this environment, businesses cannot risk making investments, and consumers have no appetite to consume. Indeed, we are very much seeing a man-made recession. China's factory activity in April shrank at the fastest rate in 26 months, to the lowest since the Wuhan outbreak. We will be looking at this in more detail in tomorrow's video. As we discussed on Friday, China's Politburo has committed to both fighting COVID and maintaining economic growth, in part with a massive stimulus plan involving infrastructure spending. However, as many have pointed out, these policies seem contradictory. If zero cases is pursued, then economic activity must suffer. When asked by an interviewer whether China can still meet its 5.5% target for growth this year, this is what George Magnus, a former chief economist of UBS Investment Bank and respected expert on Chinese economics, expressed in an interview published today, Sunday. Quote, 5.5 is the lowest in years, but it's quite high relative to what China's potential growth actually is. I think 5.5 can be achieved because, for one, they can always manipulate it, and two, they will probably inject more stimulus into the economy in order to hit the target. When they discussed this target in Beijing at the beginning of March, there were very few mentions about the resurgence of COVID. But now, with Shanghai in lockdown, Omicron threatens to overwhelm China's zero COVID policy and its hospital system. That's a drag on the economy. Also, there was no mention at all about the impact of the war, which through higher import costs will crimp income and shave roughly a percentage point of GDP in 2022. So 5.5 is an ambitious target, but they can print success if they want to. End quote. The shockwaves of Shanghai's lockdown have been reverberating across the country for weeks and will soon be heard around the world too, especially when it comes to international logistics. Despite claims that Shanghai's port has been operating normally for weeks, it is now clear that ships are clogging up the waters off the coast of Shanghai. The waiting times for container ships have tripled in recent weeks. Attempts to mitigate these disruptions by sending ships to nearby Ningbo or Shenzhen in the south have only seen modest success. Commentators are warning international companies that the shock of this is yet to be felt. For example, ships coming from Europe this week left Shanghai before the lockdowns were implemented. It will be a few weeks before Europeans will feel issues with components missing and shortages in global supply chains. It's hard to overstate just how bad this will hit international investor confidence in Shanghai in the coming years. Quote, many companies are restructuring their supply chains. For the first time, I see a number of companies looking to other Asian countries for their sourcing. That means their sourcing will be more expensive. That's also because China maintains an extremely rigid travel policy. As a CEO or a purchasing manager, you can't just fly quickly to Shanghai or Guangzhou. But today you can easily get to Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur or Manila. With the current situation in China comes a huge loss of confidence, which will eventually lead to changes in supply chains. Foreign companies are not packing up and moving out of China, but they are considering moving parts of their investments to other countries. End quote. Okay, thank you everybody. That is today's special Sunday episode of China Update. I always love to hear what you guys think about some of these developments, some of these updates. So throw your comments in the comment section below. For example, do you think Beijing is going to shut down? Do you think Shanghai has turned a corner? Do you think Beijing will be able to maintain what the Politburo committed to on Friday? That is both a zero COVID policy as well as economic growth. And if not, what will be the full fallout for this policy decision? Throw your comments below. Look forward to reading what you guys think. Tomorrow we will be back to regular episodes of China Update. See you then.